Hey there, and welcome to Creative You Art for All Ages Lesson Crates. This is Karen, and I'm your instructor for today. I'd like to welcome you to the art of Mandy Manzano. She's a Louisiana artist, and she is so cool. She's one of my favorites. I adore her work. I stumbled on her a couple of years ago, and I just think what she does is so cool. Basically, she paints. And she paints well-known characters, everywhere from Disney to fairy tales. But what she does is something unique. She creates these paintings to look like stained glass. So if you look at your artist sheets nice and closely, they look like stained glass. That's pretty cool. Everything is colorful. It's got darker edges, or darker fill, lighter in the centers, and everything is outlined in a black. That black outline is mainly to look like lead glass. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our version of Mandy Manzano's artwork. And I'm so excited about this. This is the Maleficent, which is on the page of the sample from Mandy. We're going to create our own version of Maleficent, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So what I need for you to do to begin with, this is a dry medium project, which means we're not using anything that is wet. So you don't have to make sure that you have comfy clothes that are stain resistant or any of that kind of stuff. There's really not any art supplies that you need unless you want to cut your piece out when you're done. Then you may want a pair of scissors, but I'm not going to do that to mine. I think it's cool on a piece of paper. So let's go ahead and get started. You're going to want your sheet of paper, and voila, your boom pencil. All right, so to start with, we need to make a rectangle on our paper. So I have drawn the rectangle. It's not a perfect rectangle. Art's not perfect. I'm really not looking to make this an exact duplicate of her artwork. We are inspired by her. We are not duplicating. If we want to duplicate it, we would just get a photocopier. We're not doing that. All right, so let's go ahead and get started by blocking off the basic parts of her body. Now you're going to notice in the sample, it's really a long painting. We're going to shorten it up a little bit. We're going to go ahead and put her head somewhere about there. That way her ear or her horns can come up like there. And then we need enough, and I'm going to zoom in so you can see this a little bit better. We need enough of a, so you, back up. You got your circle. You're going to have your horn spots. I'm drawing super duper softly because I can erase if I mess up. We got to have enough of room for a neck and shoulders. And then the bird is going to go kind of about right there. Okay? So that's our basic placement of where she's going to go. But now it's time to draw the details. So let me zoom out, and we're going to start with the deets. All right, so let's go ahead and do her basic face shape. It is a U, so two lines on the side that kind of angle in, and chin. Now, I'm not going super duper dark because I want to be able to fill this in with my color, but I still need to see my lines. And then the top of her outfit, or her headpiece, actually comes to a bit of a V. All right, let me zoom in so you can see that a little better. So there's our head. Not too difficult. It's almost heart shape, but not quite. All right, her ears, the horns, right here, they bump out. So we're going to, where your jawline comes out, we're going to come out nice and far, in, and right above your line, kick it out. We're going to do it again on this side, the opposite. Out, in, kick it out. So it looks like, what's his name on The Incredibles? The bad guy on the, with the hair. I can't think of his name. I'm cool, but not that cool. I can't always think of things on the fly. So, all right. So now let's go ahead and do the inside of the headpiece. We're just going to do a little bit there, crossing over at the top of your circle. And now we're going to duplicate this line. We're going to use that line. We're going to do it again and match. Boom. Maleficent's ears. Not too difficult, huh? Now we're going to go ahead and draw her face in while we have a chance. Her eyes. Straight line. Straight line. Bump. Bump. Cut it in half. Cut it in half. Pupil. Pupil. Alright, so go ahead. Straight line. Straight line. Bump. Bump, cut it in half, cut it in half, pupil, pupil. Let's go ahead and do her eyebrows. Her eyebrows start kind of high up, bump up, down and up. Bump up, down and up. Cool. All right. Lips. Lips are down low. Straight line. Okay. U. Top of a heart. Top of a heart. And we're going to give her just 2 little booger holes or nostrils. And that's it. So now you've got all these lines that are in here that are not needed. So you can go ahead and start erasing anything that's in the way that makes her look hairy. That actually looked like she had a beard, so we're totally making that one go away. Come on through. Don't erase your main lines, but definitely erase what's not needed. If you accidentally erase something that's needed, add it back in. Okay. Maleficent's looking pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and do her, I guess it's her robe. I don't know. Apparently she thinks she's royal or something. So we're going to come under this chin. We're going to drop it down to a dot right there. We're going to shoot out, and bump it. Bump it, cut it in half, cut it in half. All right, got that? I'll let you do it. All right, so let's go ahead and do the 2 in the back. They're going to come out halfway up the other ones. And you're going to bump these, but they're going to go behind her head. Bump, bump. And then let's go ahead and add in her neck. And now we can cut them in half. You get that? You notice we're kind of using the same shapes throughout. Very often throughout this painting or drawing, it's a dome with a line in the middle. Dome. Line in the middle. Everything's nice and curved, curved, curved. So that's pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and do her shoulders. Her neck and her shoulders should be a continuous line. So I'm just going to lightly draw over that continuous line. And then I'm going to drop it. Let's do that again on this side. Lightly through, Continue it nice and dark and drop it. All right. Sorry for the bounce. Okay. Let's go ahead and draw our bird. He seems like he might be a little difficult, but he's really not. We're going to start off with his beak. Draw big. This isn't a teeny tiny piece. It's basically a pie piece with the corners rounded. Let's give him a head that just continues up. So you've made almost a candy corn, or honestly, it looks a little bit like the poop emoji upside down. There you go. Alright, so let's give him an eyebrow, and a pupil, and a pupil. Easy peasy. Alright, belly. Belly. Claws. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on our little dude. I can't remember his name, but he's cool. In the movie with Angelina Jolie, she turns him into all kinds of different animals. But usually it's the bird. If you look at the Disney version where Maleficent's battling the prince, the whole movie he's a bird. So I'm not sure which is right or wrong, if there is a right or a wrong. I do like Maleficent the movie. I do think that it gave it quite a human aspect of it, rather than just that cartoon where she's this evil witch. Alright, let's give him his wings. Bump. Curve. Curve. Notice it came back right where the feet hit. Starts out by the beak, comes out, comes in. By the beak, comes out, comes in. Notice it's coming to points. It's not a big loop. Let's go ahead and put a line coming out the top of the head. And the reason we're doing that is because we're going to make it his tail. Bump, bump. So you pretty much made like a leaf. Let's do another one here. And another one here. They're not cut in half. They're just regular. And then we're going to go ahead and add another one, just kind of scooping down here and scooping down here. Let's go ahead and add his the jewel on the scepter, which is just part of a circle. And let's do the ornamental part of it, which is just the half moons again. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. There's another jewel. You can do any shape you want. If you want to do a heart, you can. You could do diamonds, squares, whatever you want. Let's connect it. And because it's a scepter, it needs to go all the way down. And there's Maleficent. So we're going to go ahead and pause here because I want you to get your Sharpie out. We're going to Sharpie every pencil line that you have just made. What do I mean by that? Your Sharpie is your choo-choo train. Pencil lines are your tracks. Do not get off your tracks. You drew those lines for a reason, so stay in the lines. Take your time. Do not rush this. Okay? So when we come back in just a minute, I want everything outlined with your Sharpie. All right, my friends, you should have everything outlined with your Sharpie. And now you have the opportunity to erase all of your pencil lines that you have not already erased. I like to just do a once over real quick of everything. Okay. how's that? Not too shabby. All right, so now you have all of these glorious pencils. The glorious, the pretty, lots of color, lots and lots of color. We're going to set those over, get them ready because you're going to be using them in a few minutes. We're going to go ahead and clear our spot of everything that is in the way. We're going to add one last bit of details to our picture. We're going to add the stained glass lines. We do not want to overdo the lines. It is important that you keep that in mind. Do not overdo the lines. All right. Sorry, I had a spot that I missed. So let's go ahead and start with her robe with stained glass. Stained glass is typically the same on both sides. It's very symmetrical, or the same. So let's go ahead and chop it up. 1, and let's do the same one here. 2, 3, 4, and maybe 1 in the middle. 5. I feel like it needs another one. Let's kind of cross up. 6, 7. Yeah, I like that. Okay, you can cross it however you want to. Just try and keep your lines nice and straight, nice and even, and symmetrical. Now let's go ahead and do the background, but I want to do even less lines for the background. I don't want it to distract the rest of the picture. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm happy with that. We're not going to cut her face any because I don't want her to look all fractured and funky looking. But we will go ahead and fracture up her horns. So let's go ahead and connect that point to that point. That one to there. Let's double that line. And double that line. Let's even do one in the middle. Yeah, I think that looks cool. Yeah. And while you have your Sharpie out, you might as well sign your art. I usually sign mine KM. And the date, I put 2015, though that's going to be changing very shortly. Now, before we get started, we're going to go over pencil colors. Pencil colors are really cool. They're a great way to fill in with color. You can press really hard and have nice dark lines. You can do it super softly and have soft lines. You can layer colors. If I mix this color and this color, do you have any idea what I would make? It would be something like this color, which would be a green, because yellow and blue make green. Now if I mix these two colors, which is red and blue, I would actually make a violet. And if I mix these two colors together, which is red and yellow, I would make an orange. Because when you have the colors of the rainbow, you have, let me move this, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple, right? This is considered your color wheel. So this is our color wheel. All right. If you have this color, and this color, these are our primary colors. Yellow, red, and blue. You cannot make those colors. They are unblendable. You can make different shades of them, absolutely. You can have a purple red or a orangey red, but you cannot make red red. Red is the pigment. Yellow is the pigment. Blue is the pigment. But you can mix primary colors to make secondary colors. Primary colors would be like blue and red that make the purple. All right, one last thing. If you mixed anything across the color wheel from each other, so you have yellow and purple, green and red, or blue and orange. If you mix those together, guess what you get? Oh, lovely poo-poo brown. That's right. You're going to get brown. Brown is, unfortunately, a result of mixing colors across from each other on the color wheel. Why did I go over all of that with you? Because it's important to know as an artist, first of all, but it also, when you're using pencil colors, you can blend. I can start with red and I can start shifting to orange and then I can end up in yellow. So let's go ahead and start. Now you have other colors, not just the rainbow. You have these colors as well. So we're going to use a variety of them. Now Maleficent's jacket are purples, her robe. So I'm going to start off with colors that I feel would be good for her robe. I have just a regular purple. I have a dark blue, and then I have a pink. My darkest color of these would be my purple. So for each of my areas, I'm going to add my purple, nice and dark. I'm going to try and stay in my lines, but to make it look like stained glass, I really want to have a shine in the middle. I'm staying in the lines really, really well, pressing nice and dark. And there you go. Now, what I'm going to do next is the secret to pencil colors. I'm going to lift and barely press down for the next section. Barely press down so it's a blend. I'm not going to go in the very center because I want that nice and light. I'm going to take this blue. I'm going to add it into my deepest cracks and crevices. Right along the edge and just a few spots because that really darkens the edges. And then I'm going to finish with my pink. Pink on top of the whole thing, gently, not dark, gently. And I've just made a stained glass section. Where'd it go, huh? Alright, so now we're going to finish the robe at just this part here. Don't forget your two little sections there and there. And then we're going to come back and work on the next part. So remember, dark on the edges, lighter as you come in, blue in the corners, and soft pink. Pretty cool? All right, go ahead and get started.